Good morning to all. Let me now discuss and explain the language and style on J.S. Mill's Liberty. Mill's entire philosophical outlook is informed by a spirit of naturalism. It is not easy, however, to get a foothold on this naturalism. Mill's general picture of mind and world is established by appealing to what we are warranted in believing about the nature of those objects and hence relies on a substantial account of knowledge. His account of knowledge, however, draws upon his general picture of mind, world, and their relation, and therefore we depends on a theory of what there is. Here, Mill's entire philosophical outlook is informed by his spirit of naturalism. He has adopted the technique or the style of naturalism in his delineating of his liberty of the society in his prose on liberty. Naturalism is a literary movement beginning in the late 19th century, similar to literary realism in its rejection of romanticism, but distinct in its embrace of determinism, detachment, scientific objection, and social commentary. The movement largely traces to the theories of French author Émile Zola. Both naturalism and realism are literary genres. These are the different genres which are adapted by different writers in the different ages in literature. But both naturalism and realism are literary genres. Both are interlinked. However, there are some differences between them. Naturalism suggests a philosophical pessimism in which writers use scientific techniques to depict human beings as objective and impartial characters, whereas realism focuses on literary technique. Another difference is realism depicts things as they appear, while naturalism portrays a deterministic view of a character's actions and life. The another difference is naturalism concludes that natural forces predetermine a character's decisions, making him or her act in a particular way. Realism poses that a decision of a character comes from his response to a certain situation. But here, in this prose, J.S. Mill adopted the genre of naturalism than the realism. That is why his account of knowledge, however, draws upon his general picture of mind world. The general picture of mind that refers to here the individuals who are living in the society and the world and their how the people who have the relationship in the society and therefore depends on a theory of what there is. As an entry point into Mill's overall system for the purpose of exposition, however, we might simply note Mill's commitment to the claim that human beings are only part of nature, keeping in mind that Mill does not think of this as his unsupported starting point, but itself a substantial climb. Though Mill holds that basic human thought is possible without language. in complicated cases can take place in no other way. As such a study of human beings, theoretical engagement with the world demands clarity on this fundamental instrument of thought. Here, Mill has given a lot of importance for the thought of human beings. In their thoughts, we don't see any language. Mill's account of language turns upon a distinction between the denotation and connotation of a word. Words denote the objects which they are true of, they connote specific attributes of those objects. Here, I think what is difference between denotation and connotation? What is the meaning of denotation and connotation? That is also you should try to understand. Denotation is generally defined as literal or dictionary meanings of a word in contrast to its connotative or associative meanings. For example, let us try to understand this term with the help of an example. If you search for meaning of the word dough in dictionary, you will see that its meaning is a type of pigeon, a wild and domesticated bird having a heavy body and short legs. But in literature, however, you frequently see dough referred to as a symbol of peace. So, in such a way, words which have different meanings, connotative and denotative meanings, we actually in the literature we diverge from the dictionary meanings of words and prefer connotative or associative meanings of words. Why do we use the connotative meanings? Because in order to accurately convey our message to the readers or people, many of the writers who use connotative and denotative meanings. There are many examples we have to see in connotative and denotative meanings. The word man, for instance, denotes or is true of all men. Peter, for example, Paul, John, Ramesh, Basoraj. There are the names of a persons and an indefinite number of other individuals. But it connotes the attributes in virtue of which the word man applies to these individuals. The virtue of which the word man applies to these individuals: corporeity, animal life, rationality, and a certain external form, which for distinction we call them women. Connotation determines denotation in the following sense. To know the connotation of a word is to know the necessary and sufficient conditions to determine whether a given object is denoted by that word. Not all words have connotations, because when we take the meaning of connotation, we don't get the meaning of connotations from all words. There are some words through which we have to get the connotative meanings. Mill notes that words can be singular or general. For example, Cicero is a singular name applying to only one object, namely Cicero. Roman is by contrast a general name. Roman is by contrast a general name applying to many objects, including Cicero, but also Augustus, Nero, and many others. While all concrete general names are connotative signaling, the attributes which justify our application of the name to individual objects. The same cannot be said of singular names. To be sure, Some singular names are connotative. The author of De Re Publica is, as we would say, a definite description and picks out one individual by way of signaling its attributes, but not all are. The name Cicero does not connote any attributes at all, but is a proper name and serves simply as a marker for that individual. So, in this way, we understood in this session about the naturalism, which is an important genre that was adopted by J.S. Mill in his work on liberty, and also how he used connotative and denotative meanings of different words, in which we have understood brief information about the language and style of liberty. Thank you.